Good morning. My name is Cadet Captain Kyle Hewling. As a senior cadet in Seneca High School's Air Force Junior ROTC program, it is a true honor to take part in today's annual Memorial Day ceremony, an event which we have proudly organized for the past 6 years. Memorial Day stands as a solemn tradition, deeply embedded in American culture, where we pay tribute to the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our nation. At Seneca, this act of remembrance holds profound meaning, and we are proud to uphold it with the respect and reverence it deserves. Today, where attention spans last only a few seconds and the privileges afforded to the American people are often taken for granted, it is important that we take a time to pause, clear our minds, reflect, remember, and give thanks to the servicemen and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live free. This is why, as a community, we need to ensure the memorial at Memorial Day. Our focus throughout the weekend is to immortalize those who lost their lives while serving in the military, not just recognize it as the annual 3-day weekend. Let us stand with our fellow Americans who deeply mourn the passing of their loved ones and share the same level of gratitude and connection to their sacrifice for the freedoms we enjoy today. Memorial Day is a stark and painful reminder of those who will not be afforded the abundant opportunities offered here in America, which they are directly responsible for enabling. Their sacrifice is the embodiment of true love and selfless service. Regardless of whether they were commissioned, enlisted, volunteered during wartime or peacetime, or never intended to serve until receiving their draft notice in the mail, they will not be forgotten. We now respectfully ask for everyone to rise for the singing of our national anthem, sung today by May and Essenza.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color guard, Gary, color.
Light parade, brass.
Color guard, right turn, march. Forward, march.
I will now give an introduction to our guest speaker, retired Colonel Stephen Henske. Mr. Stephen J. Henske, Jr. is Director of Staff, 621 Contingency Response Wing, Joint Base McGuire-Dix, Lakehurst, New Jersey, and Travis Air Force Base, California. The 621st is the only contingency wing in the U.S. Air Force providing rapid deployable multi-capable forces around the world. Mr. Henske is a graduate of Villanova University, earning a bachelor in mechanical engineering, and St. Joseph's University, earning a master's in business administration. He began his career as a maintenance officer where he deployed in support of Operations Northern Watch in Turkey and Southern Watch in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Henske was transferred to the 621st Air Mobility Operations Group, McGuire Air Force Base, New Jersey, deploying in support of Operation Allied Force for the Kosovo War and to Oman and Afghanistan after the 9/11 attack. Mr. Henske left active duty and joined the Air Force Air National Guard and supported Operation Iraqi Freedom, Al-Taqaddum, Iraq, where he served as a United States Air Force Detachment Commander supporting the U.S. Marine Corps. Prior to his military retirement from the Air National Guard, he was elevated to Vice Wing Commander, 108th Wing, and retired as a colonel. Please join me in welcoming retired Colonel Stephen Henske.
Sorry, it takes me a little bit, especially when I drop my glasses. It's tough getting old. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I wrote this speech for that portion of this audience and not necessarily that portion. So it's going to be directed mostly towards them. So the toughest audience that I've spoken to in the last 35 years has got to be high school students. Your lives are so consumed with the immediate. You have hopes for the future. Everything seems limitless. You finally feel like you might have figured things out. You know what you want to do to be happy and successful and what you want to do to be accomplished. You are determining what matters to you. You may even have considered how you are going to matter to this world. So essentially, what is an old crusty military guy going to impart, especially for Memorial Day, the holiday that unofficially starts summer and your trips to the beach? Ladies and gentlemen, where did this excitement to be free and the optimism looking for the future come from? It came from living in the United States. It came from the freedom you enjoy, which came from those who built this nation and protected it. You live in a country where the future is only limited to you. Yes, there are boundaries to what you are allowed to do, but the fact that you have choices for your future is what Memorial Day is all about. Let me explain. There was a time when this land we live in was not yet a nation but a colony, and a monarch would tell us what to do and how to do it. A group of men and women looked at each other and said there must be a better way to live. They revolted and began to define what freedom they should have and how the lives that they wanted to live should be lived. But first they had to sacrifice. Some gave up their way of life, some gave up their lives. But that started something remarkable. When they finally were able to call this land theirs, they established our way of life. An idea came out of the initial struggle that all of us were created equal and deserve rights and freedoms. But we also quickly realized that in order for us to remain in control of our own destiny, to maintain this freedom that we had achieved, there would be a cost. And such, there is a price that must be constantly paid. That price comes in many forms, but the most expensive is the lives of the men and women who defend our nation. The guarantee of your hopes for the future, your excitement of what can be, your freedom to do what you want to do, within limits, are defended by those in uniform. During the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Cold War, Afghanistan, Iraq, over 1.3 million Americans made the ultimate sacrifice for you. Some were your age and a few were younger. But let's not quantify the sacrifice, but qualify what it symbolizes, the struggle to maintain our freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what Memorial Day is all about. A simple day that recognizes those who gave their lives so that the spirit of hope and the freedom you exhibit never dies. So all I ask is that you take a second and in your own way, thank those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Then go find that adventure, create something good, exercise your freedom to be what you want to be responsible, contributing citizens. and know that the only thing holding you back is probably you. This is how you honor their sacrifice. And if you decide to stand watch to ensure that our freedoms remain intact against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then be courageous and accept that responsibility as I once did. Happy Memorial Day, Seneca. Live boldly, be happy, never stop striving for more while you appreciate those who gave their all to secure our home. Thank you very much for the honor of speaking today, and hopefully it was quick enough for you, everybody, especially the folks standing in attention and formation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Hensky. I now invite our Corps Commander, Cadet Major Jonathan Glowacki, to the podium.
Good morning. I am Cadet Major John Glowacki, and I am the Cadet Corps Commander of Seneca's AFJROTC program. I am fortunate enough to have been a part of this program for nearly 4 years now, during which time I've learned a lot on how to be a good leader and a selfless citizen dedicated to serving my nation and community. My experiences have instilled into me an overwhelming sense of patriotism that I hold near and dear to my heart. This nation in which we live in, which gives us all of these freedoms, was forged in the heart of battle, where many good men and women have died to grant us this country, our rights and liberties, and our safety. Over 1,300,000 heroes have paid the ultimate price for our freedom through unwavering courage, dedication, and patriotism. That is why we honor them, not just today, but every day, for their sacrifice for us. This day, more than any other, is a prime example of why freedom isn't free. On this solemn day, we remember our fallen heroes, comrades, and dear friends. Thank you for your time. Have a fantastic Memorial Day.
We will now begin the laying of the wreath, followed by a prayer and taps. Wreaths, first used by the ancient Greeks, have long been a tradition at the resting places of soldiers and monuments, symbolizing the eternal circle of life. Taps began during the American Civil War to signify the temporary halt to battle to recover the dead and tend to the wounded. Today, taps serves as a memorial refrain and a signal in American bases across the world that the day has come to an end. This wreath, courtesy of Emily Gibbs and Carissa Stager, who have selflessly contributed to and led our local community Operation Yellow Ribbon mission, will be presented by retired Colonel Stephen Hensky and Cadet Major Jonathan Glowacki. We now ask for a moment of silence for the laying of the wreath, followed by a prayer and the playing of taps. Thank you. Next, we invite Cadet Senior Airman Noah Smeda to the podium to say a prayer. We will now take time to recognize our Seneca students who will be joining the ranks of America's Armed Forces after graduation next month. On behalf of your Seneca family and your community, we thank you for volunteering to forever put others before yourself and selflessly sacrifice for our freedom. Before I begin, I ask everyone to please hold their applause until the very last student is announced. Thank you. U.S. Army, Anthony Albies. Marine Corps NROTC, Jacob Weir. Marine Corps, Aidan Flanagan. U.S. Air Force, Andrew Haas and Serafina Januszewski. Air Force ROTC, Joseph Hensky. U.S. Air National Guard, Matthew Gaskill, Kyle Hewling, and Jonathan Glowacki. U.S. Coast Guard, Kaylee Worrell. U.S. Coast Guard Academy, Travis Bauer. U.S. Naval Academy, Grady Brown. This concludes our Memorial Day ceremony. We pray that our fallen men and women who selflessly gave their lives in service to God and our great nation may rest in eternal peace. Students who are joining the armed forces in any capacity, as well as their families, are welcome to join us in the viewing of our honor wall immediately after the ceremony outside the auditorium to the right. Thank you and have a blessed and safe Memorial Day weekend.